In the last movie, I mentioned the scenes from Lars and the Real Girl, where Ryan Gosling's character was seeing the therapist and added or removed layers of clothing based on how exposed he felt. This works not because it's symbolic or something, but because this is how human beings actually work. Now, typically we don't like this. Human beings generally hate feeling that their motivations and innermost thoughts are discoverable, or even worse, predictable. But they are. As a writer, it's important to understand the oneness of humanity. We have a bad tendency to lump the other team into a massive faceless pile. Conservatives, liberals, corporations, the 1%, or group people by gender, religion, or race. It's much easier to denigrate a group than an individual. But these groups are all made up of people just like you and me. They're trying to figure out life as best they can. As a writer, you need to see the humanity in everyone, even the bad guys, and even the people that belong to groups that you disparage in real life. And as we've talked about, bad guys don't think they're bad guys. Even people that commit horrific acts feel justified in doing so. So give your villains some humanity. Even in superhero movies, where there are usually really clear-cut good guys and clear-cut bad guys, there's still humanity on both sides. In The Incredibles, the villainous Syndrome started out a fan of the good guys until he was slighted by Mr. Incredible.
You're that kid from the fan club.
I am your #1 fan!
Syndrome was just seeking validation and revenge for this betrayal, which we can kind of relate to. But on the other hand, no one is really a good guy either. None of us are purely good or purely evil. So part of adding more humanity is also giving your heroes some faults. Indiana Jones is a little less heroic, but a lot more human because of that temper.
I hate him! Where's my gun? Quit fooling around with that kid! Knock it off. I know, Dad! Don't call me Junior.
Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games movies is obstinate to the point of endangering herself and her loved ones, but this also makes her a very interesting protagonist.
Thank you for your consideration.
The point is to understand that humans have so much in common. We respond in similar and predictable ways to abuse, to loneliness, to stress. And even in the case of stories where there is an obvious protagonist and an obvious antagonist, it's important to imbue your characters with humanity. That means both desirable attributes and undesirable attributes. Making characters more real will make your stories feel more real and makes them easier for an audience to relate to.